Welcome to Art and Soul Insider. I'm Barbara Lynn Burns, and I'm here to help you find your joy, your creativity, and calm through art and wellness. Whether it's exploring new supplies, guided meditations, or inspiring art projects, this is your space to recharge and create. So let's make more art and less stress together. Here we go. Hi there, welcome to another Art and Soul Insider creation time. Today what we're going to be doing is featuring a product, an art product. And this art product happens to be a watercolor, but in a different way. So often we're used to watercolors in pans and, a half pan or a full pan. But today it is a liquid watercolor. And we're going to be featuring Dr. P.H. Martin's Radiant Concentrated Watercolor. And you'll learn a whole lot about this, as well as I will be playing and doing a project with it. So hang on. It should be a lot of fun. And yeah, let's go. Here's my collection of the Dr. P.H. Martins. Okay, let's see if you can get a good look at them. These are the Radiant Concentrated Watercolor. They have another type of watercolor. It's their fine art watercolor, and is it called the Hydra or Hydrus? Something like that. I will put it on the screen here. So make sure that you know it. This is a different kind. So I was able to buy all of these individually, and I believe I got them from Amazon. Yeah, it was Amazon. So I've got True Blue, Sunshine Yellow, which, I mean, look at that. That looks orange. Kind of goes against, you think that's not yellow, but it does. Ice Blue, Hyacinth Blue, very looks like a purple, doesn't it? Then, I love this green. Goes a little yellow though, but does have yellow in it anyways. Chartreuse. This is burnt orange. This is iris blue. And this is crimson. And we have jungle green. Now, what they recommend with these ones is they recommend, and they put it right here, I was looking for it actually, shake well before you use it. So what you might find when you get yours, that there'll be a sediment of stuff down here. And it's basically some of the pigment that's kind of congealed together. So shaking it will ensure that it kind of gets everything mixed up again, which is what we want. So I'm going to put these off screen, kind of somewhat in the order. I'm going to put the blues together, the warms and the cools, just so that I can have a look at it better. So I'm just going to show you kind of on screen, which you can't really see because you can't see down. Can you tell which colors I like more? The blues and the greens. Here's yellow and here's red. Okay, so I'm going to put the blues off here. Here's the greens off here. We've got the red, we've got the yellow, and we've got the orange. So I did a little bit of digging, went to their webpage, and I found out some information. I'm going to just get everything ready and kind of show you what I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using my palettes, okay? That way, with these raised palettes, I can actually put the ink in here, the watercolor in here, and it can be contained when I add more water and whatever with it. See, it's got some nice raised edges. Just know, with these colors, they stain, okay? It's not, I don't care. But, some people might, and so I just want to let you know that staining does happen. I have a whole bunch of brushes just because I I do things by feel. So sometimes, you know, I'm very fortunate because long ago, this was my brush. This is 40 years old, this brush, and I've got these ones. These are basically the last maybe 2 years. So yeah. So this is a 2. This is a 0. I don't understand, you know, each one does their ratings a bit different. This is number 8, Gum Racker, which is a multimedia one. So it's not necessarily a watercolor brush, and it's not necessarily an acrylic brush. It does both, right? So these are 2 multimedia. This is an 8 and this is a 1, both of them rounds. This one, I have no idea the name of it. So many moons ago. And these are 2 different brushes I got from Amazon. Oh, no, they're the same line. Craving artist brush. And these are watercolors. So I've got 3 watercolors and 2 multimedia. There we go. So I'm going to just put those aside. And I've got my water. Actually, I have 2 waters. One is going to be when I take my brush and want to clean it, the watercolor will be then put in here, and then I will keep this one over here as a clean one. Just then I can, you know, use when I dip it in again, and all when we're trying to do some playing with a new color. So I got a new page on my little page that we try things. Oh, that one has a little smudge on it. We'll use it later. But okay, see, I got 2 pages of notes here. So Dr. Phil Martins actually started in 1934, and they have worked with about, well, they said they're on their website, over 80 years with chemists to create the best liquid watercolor, inks, and other colored products. So I only really know them of this one, but it's, yeah. So it comes with a stopper, okay? They're very iconic in the fact that they always use glass. So it's either like the square, see, this is a square one, or it's a rounded one. And they're, you know, they're concentrated color. The Dr. P.H. Martin is known for just their vivid colors, vivid, like just unbelievable, and their special properties and the ability to work across mediums. Okay, you will actually see it on the side here of their products. This one says you can put it in technical pens, you can use it with brush, and you can use it with an airbrush as well. So that is pretty cool. As I mentioned, they're known for their iconic shapes of their glass bottles, and usually their colors come in a set of 12 or 14, and they have 2 different types. They have one's colors that are created with dye, and the other color was created with pigments. This set that we have here, the Radiant Concentrated Watercolor, this is with a dye. Okay, so that's why it kind of dyes, you know, your palette here too. They have, oh, okay, they have, the products are Radiant Concentrated, which are what we're using today. The other watercolor one is called Hydrus Fine Watercolors. But they have Spectralite liquid acrylics, they have iridescent calligraphy colors, and they have Bombay Indian inks. And they're based in California, so they're a North American company, if that interests you. Now, specifically about the Radiant Concentrated Watercolor, the product is really concentrated, and I think you can see that. Like, it looks black, doesn't it? But it's wonderful it actually just, the possibilities, because it's a watercolor, right? You can create magic. Look at that. Okay, so this is a blue. Beautiful, huh? And again, with watercolors, if I want this lighter, what do? I add more color. I mean, add more color, add more water. What am I doing? Okay, I'm gonna dry my brush the best I can. Okay, and I'm going to take this, dip it in, and there's your blue. That's with a little bit of water, right? Now, once this is done, we could do a glazing with this, right? You know, and we can build up to that color, right? But it's not dry yet, so yeah. But we can just keep building and building and building. Now, this is actually formulated. This Radiant Concentrated Watercolor is formulated for use in the graphic arts. So more things that you are like cartoon, illustrations, that type of thing. So that you're going to actually make reproductions of. Okay, so that's what is really popular, and it's very popular, as I mentioned before, for airbrushing. So this is a product that you'd create something and then you'd scan or digitize it and send it off, right? Now, the thing with this product is, because it's more for graphics, it's not light fast. If you want the lightfast archival watercolor, you want to use the Dr. P.H. Martin's Hydrus Fine Art Watercolors. Here, we just basically have, where's my notes here? Oh, it's dye-based. It's non-cloggy, which is very important if you're going to do an airbrush with this. It's transparent. You see that? Okay. It's non-toxic, which is great to know. It has a dropper, so easy access, less spillage, right? And it has an integrated palette. And again, you can get this in a set of 14, or you can get all of them, and they have 56 colors in total. Amazing, 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 amazing. So going back to the Dr. P.H. Martin's Hydrus, that has a pigment base. This is a dye based. All right. The Hydrus is archival grade, which means really high quality pigment, etc. The best stuff in it. This isn't. Okay. This is more, you're having fun. You're making these visuals, and then you are going to actually scan them and create reproductions of them. The other one, it's light fast. Here we got to get our light when we get it, so we want to make sure that this isn't exposed to the sun at any ways. We want to keep this protected. That's why scanning it works so well, because then you have the true colors in the future, and that's how it is. Also, the Hydrus is acid free, and they say they're intermixable, but these are intermixable. I mix these up too. Let's see what I'm going to do here. Oh, shake, 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 shake. So this is designed for, as I mentioned, brush. That's what we're going to be doing today. And the airbrush or a technical pen. So I'm going to clean my brush here. Okay, put on my towel and then bring it over here. And I'm just going to bring some water here. And I'm going to bring some in, and there we go. This might not create a very good purple. I'm gonna see. I might not have the right red for it. So clean my brush. I'm going to take some of this, sop it up. What I did is I dried my brush, put my brush on my towel, and then this is used as a mop. Oh, that's kind of a, oh, that's a pretty, it's kind of almost a red violet, right? Yeah. We could make it a little more purple by adding a little bit more blue. Isn't that nice? Yeah. So, mixing the two colors works fine. Okay, let's get going with the artwork. Oh, let's just trying to figure out my placement of things here. So it's spring. Well, in Athabasca, Alberta, where I live, it's spring. So we're going to do some flowers. We don't have flowers up yet. We're just happy the trees are green and the grass is green. So we're getting there. So we're going to start off with a pencil and an eraser, and we're going to create some really kind of um, funky flowers, a variety of flowers. Now, what makes a person recognize the symbol of the flower is it has its centerpiece, and then it has the radiating petals around it. When we visualize that, when we see that, we know that's a flower. Okay? It's not a spider or anything else. It is a flower, and especially the way we color it. So, first thing I'm going to start off with is I'm going to go lightly with my pencil. The reason why you want to go lightly is because when you work watercolors over top of pencil, the pencil line stays there. Now, one way you can remove the pencil line as best you can and still see your visual is what I call it's a kneadable eraser. It's gray. It's like a little rectangle, and you can ball it up into a ball. You can take a little chunk off of it and erase parts. I like using it on something that I'm going to be using today, but I don't have one. That's why I'm explaining to you. So you'd have your drawing, and then what you'd do is you take this, and I would most likely roll it into a ball, and then I'd roll it all across my drawing. And what it'll do is it will pick up um, the charcoal from the paper, and I'll have less of a mark on here. So then I'll be able to somewhat still see, but it won't be as prominent. Isn't that cool? Yeah. I mean, things for they have inventions for everything nowadays, don't they? Yeah. So I'm going to do one in the corner. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do some large ones first. Okay. I have this around. I like a nice frame. It's not going to be all colored. We're actually going to leave the white of the page in between the flowers and to show them. And so as I said, I'm going to move this watercolor palette because knowing me, I'll stick my elbow in it. So we're going to create symbols of them. So we are going to do individual petals. Now, think about the petals and not having to make them perfect. Okay, I'm going to just draw a few more here, and then I'm going to show them off to you. So don't make them all straight and perfect. Okay, see how I have it here? I have it like this. Little edges, see, it's not just straight. This is straight here. The straight doesn't create a interesting visual. Having a little bit of a form that is a little kind of irregular gives it a more organic look. Straight lines in our eyes, that symbolizes something very, well, geometric, right? We know all about that. Think of a building and stuff like that. That is very straight lines, right? We don't want straight lines. We want kind of different ones. We want it to be looking really different. And with that look, it's going to turn around and be a flower. Now this flower, it's kind of going, it's on the corner, but then it's kind of going down. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to do the downward petals. They're going to look kind of short and frumpy compared to these longer ones, but I'm not there yet, so I'm not going to show you. I'm just preparing you for it. There we go. So then here, I'm going to take one of the petals and I'm going to curve it around like that. See? Like it's falling to the side. So I'm going to get that end, go like this, and then kind of go like that. See? And then I'm going to do one like this. Again, kind of shortening it somewhat. And then here, this is the one I'm going to kind of go flattened. Okay, so kind of like that. There. It's a very big one. So when it's painted, it's going to look like it's curved. So that's kind of cool. Now the key is we want to do the big ones first. That way we can kind of figure out our spacing. So I have one here. I'm going to have another one coming out of this corner. So I'm going to draw my little circle thing or oval. Okay, I'm not going to fill actually the whole piece there. I'm going to have some of this come up like that. This might be a little bit bigger one than this one that we've just done. I actually did this piece before. Really kind of cool. Really liked it. So I thought, oh, I think you guys will like it. So this one I did much bigger. So we'll see. Because the way I've placed things might be a little off. And in the fact that in my bigger one, I actually had a flower between these two guys. So we've lost that. And that's what I do is I start with my bigger shape, get those the way I like them, right? And then from there I go and do my medium ones. And then from there, my small ones. Now, due to the way this is right now, I might just have not very big, I might not have small ones in here. We'll see. Okay, so there's one. I'm going to put one over here, I think. I might even do, I might do them all big. I never thought of that. I'm just going to see. Yeah, because I have one kind of in the middle, but it wasn't really in the middle, but it'll be in the middle here. Yeah, okay. Let's do it. Let's do it. Don't make it too bumpy. That one I did a little way too bumpy, That's really crazy. But, I mean, I could erase it if I want, but I'm going to keep going with it. I like that. It's okay. I'm going to show you doing some smaller ones in there too. I might actually do. So we want space between them. What we're doing is we're creating a very interesting negative space. Now, what is negative space? Negative space is the space surrounding an object. So here's my hand. My hand and my fingers and my thumb are called positive shapes or space. The negative space are these things right in there. See? That's the negative space. So the positive is the flowers here, the petals and the center. And the negative space, you see that negative? It's an interesting negative space. So some people, what they've done is they'll create really cool pictures like this, but instead of coloring the flowers, they color the negative space. And it truly transforms the work in a very different way, which is so cool. Now, it's so beautiful now. We had a very different winter here in Alberta because what happened is the snow kept falling, and then all of a sudden it'd be really nice. It'd be so strange. So see this bigger spot that I have here, and I could even do it here. I could go ahead and do just a little one like that. See? So I could go like this, like that. So it looks like it's a petal underneath. It's very different what we're doing. Now you want to make sure too that you're keeping the same type of length all the way through. Except for something like this where I was kind of wanting it kind of to fall down. But you'll notice with this one, it's kind of looking you're straight down, and the length of the petals are all the same or similar, right? I think that one I made a little tiny. Now what you could do is you could go like this, okay? I'm starting here, okay, that one's going to go there. Some people have drawn a very soft circle around and then erase it. You have to be careful when you're doing stuff like that. I mean, I've done it, and I think it's a great thing to do. But what you might have a hard time, because this is sensitive paper, it might alter your paper and affect the paper so much that when you put the watercolor down, okay, it's going to really look funny because the paper is somewhat damaged. Okay, so there we go. And I'm going to put one here. I don't want it the same, you see, putting it here and here. So I'm going to do it higher or lower? Oh, higher. So I have to sometime this weekend, this is a Saturday, I have to get some time outside and get going on my mailbox area. We have on our land the mailbox. The government, I guess, or this town owns 10 feet from the road, right? So we have the mailboxes there. So that is our land technically, but it's the town's. So anyways, I thought years ago it would be nice to have some plants there. And oh, just beautiful. Things were working out so good, but the last couple years, I don't know, things just weren't as good. Granted, I have to say, I didn't give it as much time and attention that I should have. It really does show where you put your time and your energy. The after effects are going to be noticeable, right? So yeah, it's just I wish in the past year, like especially last year, was not a good year. I I think because my partner, he wasn't out doing his regular stuff. And so then, I was doing stuff outside as a connection with him, and so when he kind of stopped doing it last year, as much, I was like, oh, I was kind of like, oh, that's interesting. So yeah, kind of took the wind from my sails as well. So, but I really want to create some sense of beauty for our neighbors, that when they come and they look at the mailbox, it gives a sense of beauty to them. That I would really, really like. So I'm going to maybe now do some smaller ones, because I can't, I could do a big one here, but all you'll see is petals. Is that okay? Hmm. I think I'm going to do a small one. Okay. So I'm going to be a little bit different. This one, the leaves are a little thicker. These ones I'm going to do, they're going to be smaller. Well, it's not smaller. They're going to be long, but thinner. And this is where we can really bring in those little petals that I was sharing with you earlier, right? So right in there, I could do a petal thing to make sure I don't go too thick. I'm going and doing them like those other ones. There we go. There's a little bit of a space there. I'm not really a flower girl as such, but I love the beauty of them. I think they add so much to our world. It's just a beautiful, kind of, well, gift, but a beautiful thing for our eyes to behold. I mean, we're so fortunate, Here we go, and there's another one right in here. Well, we'll do it up like that. There we go. Okay, let's have one here, because then we'll maybe get another one in there. So try and go lightly with your pencil. Reason why I'm saying that is because I found myself just there going a little too hard. So try and be soft, because then, yeah, it'll be a little bit better when you're doing your watercolors. Oh, went a little too jagged there. Going to kind of smooth it out. See how we're filling things in, and it's working pretty good. I hope my camera isn't falling. I think it's pretty good. It's not as straight as it was, so I think something has happened there. So now we got to watch out here that we don't have, like, remember we weren't wanting this to be the same. We don't want that to be the same. So I'm thinking of bringing it closer here. Okay. And then just bring from there. I'm amazed about just the variety of flowers. Now, if you're a flower person, or gardening person, I mean, you know that that, well, wherever you are, right, there is a zone. So there's that zone is based on basically your temperature, how long of a season you have, how much light, etc. So the further you go up north, the smaller the number. And the reason why is because, well, it's getting colder, right? Doesn't have as much heat for as long as, say, something that's in Florida would get, right? So we here in Alberta, where I live, we are zone 2. So it is a colder kind of place. Um, we have a very short season because, as I mentioned, it is it's May. It's near the end of the May. It's May 24th. Now, when I release this, it'll be much further on. But May 24th, we have hardly, we don't have any flowers. Now that I'm thinking of it, yeah, we don't have any flowers, just green grass. People have planted, I believe, last week because that was when our full moon was, right? So, yeah. So I'm going to actually have a circle off center here. So I'm going to put it maybe about here. And then I'm just going to draw out from here. There we go. So yeah, we are zone 2. So we have to have very hardy plants because, well, even now, frost is still a possibility. And I know some of you are going, oh my goodness. Yep, that's where I live, I tell you. So, and then I'm going to do one just coming out from here. So there's going to be a circle here coming like that. There we go. And coming like that. Yeah, good old Alberta, I tell you. Oh, it looks like something is needed here too. So let's do another one. Let's do it a little lower. So yeah, it's a short, but we've got lots of light. Like I'm talking about light. It is absolutely incredible. We have light until, um, mm, I'd say light until, not right now, but when on June 21st, we will have 12 hours of light and 12 hours of darkness. I think. No, we've got much more. No, sorry, that's totally wrong. We have much more light, much more light. So I'll go to bed about 11, and if I do, and the sun is starting to wake about 4:15. Yeah, so we get, mostly sunlight all the time. So there's our creation. So now we get to play with Dr. P.H. Martin's stuff. Okay, so I'm thinking, I forget which blue I actually used. I think it's this one. Let's see how dark. Yeah, I think it's this one. Oh no, that's a little purple. Okay. Okay, I'm trying to figure out what I want. I'm wanting really bright colors. I have in here, the blues and a purple. I'm wanting yellow. So I'm going to be using this one that looks like it's orange. And this is Sunshine Yellow. Oh, shake well, Barb. So, yeah, that's what I'm wanting. I'm wanting nice and bright and cheery. Speaking of flowers, the flowers that work really well are the petunias. Oh my gosh, petunias work incredible. Here. Oh, I've got a little bit of purple in my brush there. I gotta get rid of it because I noticed there's a little bit of purple in the water there. See? I don't know if you can see it on your camera. Oh, there's a little bit of green. I tried and washed these out pretty good, but okay, I'm going to take a dip of the yellow and add it in. Okay, and I'm going to keep adding some yellow there, or water in there. Okay, I'm going to create a... Now I'm right-handed, so I'm going to start right side and move over. Okay, the reason why, you don't want this one here wet and I'm painting here. You see what I mean? I could possibly put my arm down on it, and that is how I paint. I like to rest my arm somewhere. Now this might need one coat or two coats. We could do a glazing system, right? So it's up to you, you know, not up to you. It's up to me how I do it, but it's up to you with yours. Do you want to add another light coat? Because when you add another light coat, when it's dry, you enrich the color. Color comes out a bit more. And that's just beautiful. You know, it just intensifies it just that much more. So, yeah. Another flower that works well, marigolds, but the slugs love them. Oh my gosh, they love them. And then another one is called ostium spurnum. They're so pretty. They're like a daisy. Daisies do well here too. And they just, yeah, they're just beautiful. One thing is, though, that if it's a cloudy day, all their petals kind of close up. And to me, on a cloudy day, that's when I want to see the flowers all bright and happy, you know. So, but I love the, there's all sorts of wonderful lines in them. They're just beautiful. And then naturally, you know, Suhail, my partner, his mother used to be an incredible gardener, and Suhail, you know, learned from the best there. So his garden is quite magnificent. He's slowed down this past year, though, and the previous year, so not doing as much. So seasons change. Things, you know, we all move on, or things happen, right? So we aren't doing the same things. But even without all the profusion of flowers and stuff like that, he has mapped out everything so well, with just the trees that were in between, you know, all these bountiful flowers, just absolutely beautiful. Yeah, so still stunning. Looks very much like a Zen garden. Yeah, last year it was just beautiful. And he's got a beautiful fountain in our front yard, and yeah, it's beautiful. I'm going to do another, I'll do yellow here. So nice thing with this is I can do, I'll do that maybe with the another one. I'm just going to be painting these just in a single color, but I was thinking we could do some wet on wets, because it works. Just these are just like watercolors, right? They're just in a different form than what we're used to. So we can do all the other things, and yeah, so we'll just have these ones as yellow, and then we'll do some playing with some other ones. So again, just like with regular watercolors, if you want the color lighter, you just add water. Yeah, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do with my mailbox. And the reason why I brought my mailbox is because sometime this weekend I'm going to have to do it. On Sundays is my day that I do my YouTube videos and all the editing and stuff like that. So yeah, so that takes a long time. Since I live in a rural community, we've got the best system that we can get for here for quick uploads and, you know, downloads and stuff like that. but it's still pretty slow, compared to the city, right? So it takes me hours to upload a video to YouTube. Hours, yeah. So mm, that's kind of frustrating, but you can make things frustrating, or you can just say, this is just the way it is, and let's just work around it. And so I do, I do laundry, things like that, or I'll do little, social media kind of things to let people know that I've got a new video coming out, that type of stuff. You do, while things are working in the background, such as uploading your video to YouTube. Yeah, things can be done, right? So that's what I do. Well, these ones are really wet, so I'm just going to bring some of their water over here. There you go. So your brush can act as two things. It is a mop. So with a mop, you can flush water all over the place, like what we've done. And then if it's too much, this little brush can take away the moisture. So how does it take away? Well, it takes away by being drier than the moisture on your paper. So what you do is then you go and you make this brush drier. So how do you make this brush drier? Well, you take a paper towel or a towel, and here's your ferrule, okay? And here's your bristles. So you go and right at the bottom here, you want to take moisture out. And by taking the moisture out, what happens is you're making your brush drier. And so when you take your brush and then you put it in like this, it sops up the extra color. Isn't that cool? Yeah, so you can always use, you don't have to use a paper towel or anything like that. If you, have too much, you can just dry your brush and then just put your, just lightly put your brush down to where you want to lift the liquid, and voila, it is done. Isn't that cool? I like some of these dark areas. Like there's this, I don't know whether it's lights or my eyes. I'm seeing a little bit more of a brighter hue or something, or deeper hue, with that one petal, and it looks very three-dimensional. It's very neat. A lot of water there. Or pigment. So yeah, when you're doing your watercolors, you have to be careful that you're not dipping your hand into an area that's wet, right? Because otherwise, what's going to happen is you're going to disrupt, or what I've done in the past is actually lift the pigment. My skin sucks it up and I get the pigment on my skin. I actually did this just before I did the filming here today. So yeah, kind of funny, huh? There. Okay, so now I'm going to get the orange. Okay, so this is the yellow. I'm going to get that burnt orange. So shake it up again. I'm going to have to make some more yellow. Okay, see, it's getting a little low. So I'll put the orange right beside the yellow. So right here in this blob, that's the orange. Isn't that dark? It's unbelievable. So I'm going to clean my brush. Okay, and I'm going to add liquid right beside there. Now I wouldn't recommend doing this over your work, because little drops can happen. And they have with me. So, but I'm doing this for the filming. So just to let you know, okay? So I'm going to kind of dry my brush over here, take some of this, sop it up, and put it over here. That is a burnt orange. Oh, isn't that beautiful? That is a beautiful color. Okay, so now I'm going to clean my brush. Need to make some more yellow. So make sure my brush is clean. I'm going to dry it. I'm going to suck up that liquid. Oh, that's not it. I sucked up the wrong liquid. I sucked up the orange. I was looking for an orange color because that's what the yellow was, right? Silly me. Okay, here, let's try this again. Dry the brush. Soak some up here. There we go. And let's get some more water in there. So let's make this one a multicolored one. So I'm going to start with my yellow first. There. Oops, see, I went right on top of it with my hand. Gotta watch out for those things, right? You don't want to lift the watercolor. Now, we haven't done any glazing yet because I'm really liking the yellow that we have here. So I'm filling the entire space, okay, with that yellow. So then, next step, clean my brush. Going into here, just a little dab, okay, just a little dab. And I'm going to go right there. It's not really blending. Oh, it is lifting somewhat. Okay. I'm just going to take my brush. It's somewhat dry. I'm not wanting to lift the color, but I'm wanting to kind of help move the orange. There. Oh, I got a little bit of a over on the side here. I'm just going to use my finger. Could have used my dry brush, clean dry brush. Remember, you don't want color there, right? Because we're trying to leave the white. So now we go to the next one. Okay, so here we go. So because it's still wet there, I'm painting with my hand up. The paper is somewhat warping here, so we're gonna have to keep my eye on kind of what's it doing. Now this is a lot of liquid in here, so I'm just going to continue over here with this little guy, and I'm going to actually start painting this guy. You don't want it to be overflowing with water, right? You want it wet, right? But not sopping wet. And again, if you feel you have too much water, you can, I'll show you next what to do. You can take your paper towel or your cloth, and oops, I'm trying to do it properly, and I'm working over my wet paint still. You take it and you just press right in there. Whoops, like right in here, this area, and that will dry your brush up a little bit more. So okay, here we go. There, I want some pink, not pink. I want some orange in there. Oh, need some more. So I'm just kind of pin dropping it in the spot that I want. Trying not to put my head in the game here. Again, you could encourage it to come up if you want. And you can leave it. Sometimes you just have to let it go. The controlling person in me sometimes wants too much control. So I'm just kind of putting it up a little bit. But yeah. Oh, stuck my finger in the red. Okay, here's the yellow again. It's really nice to work with a round. The round has such a nice point. You see that? It has that point. And so you can pinpoint, you know, especially with all these little bumps and curves and these petals, exactly where you want the paint to go. And once you have that area wet, you can actually just keep moving it along to make sure the whole area is covered. I got a little extra. I'm just going to bring it here. Okay, clean my brush. You go into the orange. And here we go. Okay, so just kind of bringing that orange up, little dots. Just to play with it. Clean it because I'm going to go into the yellow again. Okay, and what I do is just place also, sometimes, just place it down like this on my towel, right? And that seems to work as well. But aren't the colors vibrant? Aren't they just wonderful? I mean, you can really tone them down, but I'm really wanting to live them up to their vibrancy and their color because, you know, that's one of the things that they're known for, right? Is the vibrancy. So might as well use it in your work, right? Use the material, you know, the best way you can for what you want and for what it actually is. So this one is vibrant, you know, the colors are vibrant. So this is perfect for flowers. Because today I want mine to be vibrant. So I think I'm going to add some orange flowers, the medium ones that I have. Well, I think that's all we have, are large and medium, right? Okay, so dry my brush, clean it, dry it. Okay, and let's go into the orange. Got to watch around the furrow that you don't get some liquid, because liquid little bubbles can drop right onto your work and it can change your work. So remember to kind of go to those edges with your colors, because look kind of funny if they didn't start out like that. Okay, I'm going to clean my brush and dry it again and just bring this out to play a little bit more. That's all. You can bring it around that edge there. There, very cool, isn't that? I mean, it's, yeah, you can get your wet on wets like this. It's just a matter that it's a different medium, right? And because we're so used to it being in pans, well, it's basically starting, and it's already at that point where it's liquid, right? You're just taking it and just bringing it down to whatever color you want, you know, to lighten that intensity. If you have any suggestions, I would love to hear your suggestions. You know, anything that you'd like me to do, I'm very willing to try. When I was teaching in the public school system, I was known as a generalist art teacher. So I kind of knew a little bit of everything. We did printmaking, we did drawing, we worked three-dimensional, like we worked collages, we worked pottery, you know, just a variety of things. So, yeah. So that was really enjoyed my time teaching. And then I developed cancer, and I took time off from teaching. Um, cancer sure gave me a wallop. My recovery was a little longer than normal. Um, but so grateful for, um, I was grateful that as a teacher, I had benefits and everything to help me through that time. Still, it was incredible cost. I mean, I think of as a Canadian, I didn't have to pay. Well, you pay through your taxes and stuff like that, but I didn't have to pay for, the chemo and, all the specialist appointments and etc. So that was really nice. But being a rural Canadian, I had to do a lot of driving, you know? And so that was a little tough. That costed, quite a bit. And with the growth on my spine, um, I just had to go usually the night before because driving back and forth in one day was a little too much for me. So I'm going to do this one the same style. Nice, huh? Oh, it looks like I'm going to need more yellow. So, okay, sop that up. Sometimes nice to have a plan, but as you can see, I didn't really know my plan either, or my colors. It wasn't not until I was actually doing the work that I was like, oh, right, yeah, let's do a gradation. And so we did the gradation of the yellow and it's not a pure blend gradation, right? It's a very much of a gradation where just the two colors meet and blend, right? We don't have like a pure sky type of thing that it's just everything blends so lovely one into another. This one's quite evident of where we start, where we end, that type of thing. I would suggest with your flowers, do your favorite colors. I mean, I love greens and blues, but I think, oh, got lots of liquid in that one. I think I just wanted something a little different. Yeah. So the brightness, really, it's beautiful, isn't it? Well, I think it's all due to the beautiful sun that we have. Boy, we're fortunate to have just the beautiful air that we breathe. We need to improve that aspect, right? With the industries and everything. But boy, I know in North America we're so I'm I feel so grateful to live here where, the pollution is not as bad. So, yeah. Trying to